Hey, everyone, it's Dose Brain, and today we're talking about something super important, red flags in your sex life. Now, I know this might feel a little awkward, a little like a visit to Toby and HR, but trust me, this is good stuff. We're going to dive into 5 major red flags that deserve your attention because everyone deserves a healthy and happy sex life. So buckle up, grab your world's best boss mug, and let's get real for a few minutes. First up, let's talk about consent. This one's non-negotiable, folks. Consent means getting a clear and enthusiastic yes before engaging in any sexual activity. And remember, consent can be revoked at any time. It's like offering someone a beet from your garden. You wouldn't just shove a beet in their hand and say, "Eat it, you're gonna love it." You'd ask if they even like beets, right? Maybe they're allergic. Maybe they just had a beet salad. The point is, you respect their choice. Now, imagine applying that same level of respect and consideration to intimacy. It's about checking in, making sure everyone's comfortable, and understanding that no always means no. And hey, sometimes yes can mean no too if it feels forced or coerced. Think of it like this. You're at a karaoke bar with your significant other. They really want you to sing a duet of Don't Stop Believin' with them. But you're tone deaf, and besides, you're pretty sure Journey is what Dwight listens to on repeat when Angela's not around. The point is, you don't feel good about it, but your partner insists, saying it'll be fun, everyone's doing it, and besides, they already picked you out an awesome song. That's not cool, right? You should never feel pressured to do something you're not comfortable with, especially when it comes to intimacy. Consent should be a given, like Michael's unwavering belief that he's the best boss ever. It's about respecting each other's boundaries and making sure everyone feels safe and respected. So, if you're ever unsure, just ask. It's always better to err on the side of caution and communication. Plus, talking about it openly can actually be kind of, dare I say, sexy. Okay, so we've covered consent, which is like the foundation of a healthy sex life. Now let's talk about boundaries, because even with consent, there can still be red flags if boundaries are ignored. Boundaries are like those unspoken rules we have, those lines we don't want crossed. They can be physical, emotional, or even digital. Maybe you're not comfortable with certain types of touch, or maybe you have a hard limit when it comes to sharing personal things online. Whatever your boundaries are, they're valid, and it's crucial that your partner respects them. Think of it like this. Remember when Michael tried to make "that's what she said" a thing, and everyone was like, "Michael, no, just no," that's kind of like a boundary. We all have our limits, our things that make us feel uncomfortable or disrespected. Ignoring someone's boundaries is like Michael ignoring everyone's pleas to stop with the offensive jokes. It shows a lack of respect and can be incredibly damaging to the relationship. It's like when Michael accidentally sent that inappropriate email to HR. Major boundary crossed. So, how can you tell if your boundaries are being ignored? Well, it might be subtle, like your partner pressuring you to do something you've already said you're not into. Or it could be more overt, like them sharing intimate details about your relationship with their friends without your permission. The bottom line is, if something doesn't feel right, speak up. Don't be afraid to assert your needs and expectations. And if your partner truly cares about you, they'll listen and adjust their behavior accordingly. After all, a healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and understanding, not on someone constantly pushing the limits. All right, let's talk about comfort levels during intimacy. This one's huge, folks, because here's the thing. Sex should feel good, like really good. It shouldn't be a chore, an obligation, or something you dread. If you're constantly feeling uncomfortable, pressured, or like you're just going through the motions, that's a major red flag. It's like when Michael tried to force everyone to participate in his improv exercises. Some people loved it, looking at you, Creed, but others were clearly uncomfortable and just wanted to get back to work. The point is, everyone has different comfort levels when it comes to intimacy. What feels amazing for one person might feel totally weird or even painful for another, and that's totally okay. The key is to communicate openly and honestly with your partner about what feels good and what doesn't. Think of it like this. You're trying to teach Michael how to use a computer. He's clicking everything, typing with one finger, and generally wreaking havoc on the system. You wouldn't just sit there and let him continue, would you? You'd gently guide him, show him the ropes, and make sure he feels comfortable and confident. The same goes for intimacy. It's a process of discovery, of learning what each other enjoys and finding a rhythm that works for both of you. And if something doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to hit the pause button. It's always better to address any discomfort head-on rather than letting it fester and potentially lead to bigger problems down the line. Let's talk about pressure, because let's be real, no one likes to feel pressured, especially when it comes to something as personal as sex. Pressure can come in many forms, from subtle hints and guilt trips to outright demands and ultimatums. It can be as blatant as Michael Scott proposing to Carol after only a few dates, or as subtle as Jim's constant glances at Pam in the early seasons. The point is, pressure can make us feel trapped, obligated, or like we're letting someone down if we don't comply. And that's not cool. Sex should always be a choice, a mutual decision made freely and without coercion. Think of it like this. Remember when Michael tried to force everyone to sell paper by pitting them against each other in a competition? He thought it would motivate them, but it just created a toxic and stressful environment. The same goes for pressuring someone into sex. It might seem like a harmless way to get what you want, but it can actually be incredibly damaging. It can erode trust, create resentment, and make the other person feel used and violated. So, how can you tell if you're being pressured? Well, it might start with subtle comments about your sex life, like all the other couples we know are doing it more than us. Or maybe if we were more intimate, you'd be happier. Or it could be more direct, like your partner sulking or getting angry when you're not in the mood. The bottom line is, if someone truly cares about you, they'll respect your decision, even if it's not what they want to hear. They'll understand that your body is your own, and they'll prioritize your comfort and well-being above their own desires. Last but not least, let's talk about communication, specifically when it comes to sexual health. This one's crucial, folks. We're all adults here, and we need to be able to talk openly and honestly with our partners about our sexual history, our comfort levels, and any concerns we might have. Imagine if Michael never communicated his crazy ideas to the office. We wouldn't have had all those hilarious moments of cringe and chaos. Okay, maybe that's not the best example, but you get the point. Communication is key, especially when it comes to something as important as sexual health. Think of it like this. You wouldn't just assume that Dwight knows how to do a fire drill properly, would you? You'd have a conversation, go over the safety procedures, and make sure everyone's on the same page. The same goes for sexual health. It's about having open and honest conversations with your partner about your sexual history, any STIs you might have, and your comfort levels when it comes to protection. It's about being responsible, respectful, and prioritizing each other's well-being. Now, I know this can be an awkward topic to broach, but trust me, it's a conversation worth having. Start by sharing your own experiences and comfort levels, and encourage your partner to do the same. Remember, communication is a two-way street. And if you're ever unsure about something, don't hesitate to reach out to a healthcare professional. They can provide accurate information and guidance, and they're bound by confidentiality, so you can feel comfortable sharing your concerns. So there you have it, folks, 5 major red flags to watch out for in your sex life. Remember, a healthy and fulfilling sex life is built on a foundation of consent, respect, communication, and pleasure. If something doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. Talk to your partner, set boundaries, and prioritize your own well-being. And hey, if you're ever unsure about something, don't hesitate to reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or healthcare professional. What are your thoughts on these red flags? Have you ever experienced any of them in your own relationships? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Remember, we're all in this together, and by supporting and learning from each other, we can create a world where everyone feels empowered to have healthy and fulfilling relationships. Don't forget to subscribe to keep the channel going for more videos like these. Thank you.